It's just an old man wearing a long red shirt.
Fatality.
Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Wake Up 3. You've reached round 58, and we are your hosts, Molly
and Cam. And this is a fighting game podcast from a couple who loves fighting games.
That is right. And as usual, we are going to get you in the mix. We're going to mix you up. Well, specifically, I'm going to try to mix Cam up today. So, here we go. This theme is Wake Me Up Before You JoJo.
Oh.
Because we have... Not that.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, is this an anime thing?
No.
Because I'm going to lose.
No. No, that's Joe with an E. And
Okay.
We're talking about baristas. I want you to choose a fighting game character to make you a cup of Joe.
Oh.
To wake you up with some coffee. So, since that is that's our whole deal here. And since Joe is the last little Muay Thai fighter to come out this year.
Anytime now, right?
That we know of, right?
Right, yeah, that we know of. Maybe we're going to get one in, like, Uni 2 or some shit.
Yeah, or maybe, like, MK1's gonna drop a secret new Muay Thai character.
Yeah, Definitive Edition update. Wouldn't be the first time.
Alright, so this is a speed round. This is you have to choose instantly. That is the nature of the mix-up today.
Okay. Sounds good.
Choose your barista. Stat! Elena or Aki?
Elena. I don't trust Aki to make it. It would have poison.
I thought I could trick you right off the bat.
No, I don't want to poison his coffee.
Okay, fine. Chun-Li or Mai?
My.
Jamie or Luke?
I'm going to go with Jamie. That one took me a minute. I was just sitting there blinking for a minute. But
Okay,
you're going to
get... You might not get a shot of espresso, but you might get a shot of something else in there.
You're right, but I think Luke might accidentally put his finger in it or something.
You don't want you don't want Luke's finger in your coffee?
No,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think he washes his hands enough.
All right, fair enough. So you're going to take a risk with the spiked coffee with Jamie.
Yeah, I don't trust Luke's hands.
All right, moving on. Sagat or Adon?
Sagat. Definitely.
Not much deliberation there.
Nope.
That's good. All right, moving on. Hokuto Maru or Joe?
I'm going to go with Joe because of the new glasses. He's got that professional vibe now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Joe.
Yeah, the glasses do kind of give him that barista look, huh?
A little bit.
I don't know. Are there any baristas in glasses out there today?
Let us know in the comment if you're a barista that wears glasses.
Represent. And here's your bonus round. You've done very well, so here's your bonus round.
Thanks.
Geese Howard or Mr. Big? You gotta be fast.
Oh my. Oh no. Oh geez.
The coffee's hot.
Oh god, it's gonna burn me. Let's go Geese Howard.
Ooh.
I love both of these characters. They're both great, but man, I don't know. I'm just gonna go with Geese.
Ooh, the Geese brew. I can respect it. I'm surprised.
I don't even know my own reasoning for this one. I'm just going with what I feel in my heart.
All right. Well, if you think Cam chose the right baristas, let us know. Leave a cup of coffee in our whatever comment section you're using. But thank you for participating. Enjoy your coffee, and let's get into the news.
Let's do it. I'm going to lead the news today. It was very Evo heavy this weekend, as I'm sure we all know. Maybe I shouldn't say this weekend, because I don't know when you're listening to it. Maybe you're listening to it in December.
For us, it's this weekend.
Yeah,
Evo just happened.
Yeah, as of recording, Evo just finished up, and there were a lot of announcements, a lot of gameplay that we watched that kicked ass, and seemed like a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Let's talk all about it. At Evo, you could try out, I should say, Ken in Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, or Sagat in Street Fighter 6. But, of course, by now, they've actually both released already. So, very cool.
Yeah, very cool, particularly with Ken.
Yeah, definitely.
Ken got just released. So
Yeah, he got shadow dropped.
during the City of the Wolves Grand Finals.
They're like, hey, in 3 hours, you're going to be able to play Ken. Mortal Kombat Trilogy got a new game announced for its collection. Not a new game, but you know what I mean. Part of their Legacy collection. So, Mortal Kombat Trilogy was announced. That makes the 20th game that's going to be in this collection. And it comes out at the end of October. I'm pretty excited about this one. What about you?
Mm-hmm.
I've never played Trilogy, so I'm looking forward to trying this one. But beyond that, I'm looking forward to trying that game in general. I love the classic MKs, and I'm looking forward to trying it out on Game Gear, Game Boy, all those weird jank versions that I've never had a chance to play. 4 characters are being added to Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper. That was part of the Capcom Collection 2. Fighting Collection 2, I should say. Those 4 characters are Maki, Yoon, Eagle, and Ingrid, and they were originally PSP exclusives for a game that came out in like 2010 or something. And now they're being put in the main game for the first time ever, so people that didn't play on a little handheld can finally try out Maki, Yoon, Eagle, and Ingrid. Pretty cool. A lot of Ingrid pushing lately.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Wonder why. Virtua Fighter 5 is being re-released, even though it just got re-released earlier this year. Not sure a date on that, but it's going to be called Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage. And
I always read it as Revo in my head.
Revo. Maybe it is Revo. I honestly don't know.
Revo sounds like you're very City of the Wolves affected.
This World Stage update / brand new game that you can purchase at full price is a single player mode, and the boss character, Guerilla, is now going to be playable. So, there you go. Big ol' update. Moving on, Tekken 8 dropped the Armor King trailer during its top 8, and I gotta say it was pretty hype.
Oh yeah, I love this trailer. I actually can't believe this trailer. It's really good.
I think this was probably the announcement of the weekend for me. We already knew he was coming, obviously, but the trailer delivered.
Oh, definitely. I was just blown away by how much Armor King was going on. And also, everything they gave him in this game, like, he looks crazy.
Yeah, he looks sick. Hopefully he's not another pay-to-lose character like he was in Tekken 7.
No, he doesn't look like it.
No, he looks like he'll be strong, but
I feel like this is his redemption because...
It seems like it. He can breathe fire now. Spit poison.
Yeah, that and all of his little outfits. I just feel like this trailer was just on level 10 at all times. Like, everything they were showing Armor King that he's able to do, he like stomps people now. It just feels like dirtier, more aggressive. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's definitely embracing that heel role.
Yes.
Half the trailer was just straight up versus King, normal King, and he was just beating the shit out of him just constantly the whole time. So I'm glad that my favorite character in Tekken is finally returning to Tekken 8. Maybe I'll have to actually pick it up and learn the game a little bit more again. It's been a while since I've actually played it seriously.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to say that came to mind when seeing the Armor King trailer, and specifically with the King interaction, I pointed out to Cam that I love that in Tekken, like, as opposed to what you get with like Tizak, who speaks behind the mask.
Gentlemen!
Which is kind of fun too, in its own right. But I do love that King and Armor King just kind of growl, but it tells you what they're saying anyway.
I love it. Yeah, I love that they just growl at each other for like a couple minutes in the trailer. It's not that long, but they growl at each other for like a full interaction, and they just understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Tekken theme that I do love right there. So, props.
Yeah, everyone speaks their own languages to each other, including the people that just growl, and it kicks ass.
Yeah, I appreciate that King and Armor King do not speak words.
Me too. Me too.
And he looks cool.
He looks great.
He looks real, real good, and I'm excited.
Yeah, that rage art at the end where he
oh my god,
destroys the entire ring and then smashes you through a table. It was good. It was good. During the trailer, you were saying like they're showing a lot, but you said it was the same length as the Fakamram trailer, but for some reason it felt like it was a lot more exciting.
Yeah, it felt really full of moments. It did. And it certainly was. It also was literally a bit longer just because it wasn't just the Armor King trailer, but also a brand new character.
Very true. Yes, they announced, I'm going to say this name wrong, Mari?
I think it was like Miarizu. Like, I know it says Zo, but I think it's pronounced Zoo.
Miarizu. We're going to go with that.
That's what we've got so far. Not too much exposure to this new character yet, so.
We saw her walk in and say a line and a freeze frame. That's all we got so far, so we haven't seen any of her gameplay. But they announced that she's from Madagascar, she's a friend to animals, and she's going to have her own Africa stage.
Yeah.
The stage looks great. It's beautiful. It's very similar to the Street Fighter 6 Elena stage.
It does feel a little similar.
Do you think she'll use the lemurs in her moveset as projectiles?
I hope not.
I mean, it happened with Kazumi and Tigers, so...
Yeah, but I feel like with Kazumi, it was more like summoning the tiger to do it. But when you said, is she going to use the lemurs as projectiles, I'm just picturing her chucking a lemur.
Moving on, Street Fighter 6 had 2 trailers during their top 8, or just before it, actually. The first one was the Sea Viper World Tour trailer, where we finally got to see her in-game model. I think she looks good. I've seen a couple of complaints about the way her hair doesn't fit in the Street Fighter 6 engine.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't know. I don't really understand that. I feel
That's
like
bullshit.
It looks good to me.
It looks like Street Fighter 6 hair to me.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I saw some people complaining about the hair. I don't really understand it. I think
Disagree.
I think it looks good. I think she looks cool. I don't really know this character well because I have not played 4, but I'm interested.
Yeah. So it's her little John World Tour teaser, and you just kind of get to see what she looks like in game pretty much, and you get to hear her talk. And yeah, people are obviously hyped for this character, but yeah, here at Wake Up 3, we don't really know too much about Viper. We don't have a history with her yet. So, that's to be seen.
Yeah, we'll get into her another time. The other trailer was the Outfit 4 trailer. And these outfits have released along with Sagat. So now you can go ahead and buy all these beach skins. 7 characters got their beach outfits.
The lucky 7 to get their outfit for first.
Right. Not counting jury, because we're not going to talk about that shit again.
Yeah. Oh, I did notice that Jamie has a necklace on with a charm on it of his drink canister. Flask.
Cute.
Yeah. I love miniature things, so I thought that was a really cute detail. I probably won't be getting any of the skins, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to.
Just because I don't play any of them.
Yeah, none of them are mains that I have. I've got a couple of characters that I play. They're not even my secondaries. So, I probably won't. I'm a little bit tempted to get the Aki one along with the character Aki, because I don't have her yet.
Yeah, I think if I was going to splurge on an outfit for the summer, it would probably just be Jamie's, because he's someone that I have played.
Right.
Like, he's someone I'd be willing to play again, but you're probably thinking, like, what?
I haven't seen you play Jamie in like 2 years. I don't know if it's been quite that long, but it's been a long time since I've seen you play
I don't
Jamie.
have him placed on my PS4.
No, you don't. Moving on to another bit of news. This is SNK related again. Art of Fighting 3 was announced as a playable game at SWC. That's insane. Art of Fighting 3 came out in 1996. And I didn't even mention the prize of it. The winner gets $100,000 for a 29-year-old game.
Crazy.
That is crazy. That's absolutely wild. It's insane.
So this is going to be at SWC in October.
Yes, that is going to be, I think, October 31st through November 2nd. And it takes place at DreamHack Atlanta.
I think with this Art of Fighting 3 announcement, it's safe to say that we'll see that new Art of Fighting game announcement when that comes.
Yeah, that was one of my very first thoughts. Like, oh, new Art of Fighting coming soon. Years. I'm sure it's still a couple years out, but
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
How far in advance did they tell us Fatal Fury City of the Wolves was coming, you know? Like I feel like we knew that almost at the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah, I think we may have already known at that point.
Yeah.
Because King of Fighters 15 came out early 2022, and I think the new Fatal Fury got announced that summer.
Yeah, we think that announcement's coming in hot in October.
I think so.
But in the meantime, brush up on your Art of Fighting 3. Well, aside from announcements at EVO, of course, there is no shortage of fierce competition. So we want to highlight some of the big wins or notable face-offs that we saw.
Yeah, for sure.
So what you got?
I want to start with Sam Show 2019. I was able to watch the entirety of the top 8. It was a blast. There were obviously 8 competitors in that, but I got to see 10 different characters, which I thought was cool.
That is cool.
It's a really nice variety, and it was a lot of characters you wouldn't typically see, like that Wu Ruxiang shield girl. Mm-hmm. I got to see a little bit of Aroha. Got to see only one Biken, actually. So, cool.
And that was the winner?
That was the winner. That was Scrub Cybot. He was the winner again. He's winning everything for this game lately. I watched a little bit of City of the Wolves throughout the weekend. I didn't watch as much as I would like, but I got to see plenty on Saturday during pools, and I think the commentary was top-notch. Every time I tuned in, it was Hell Pockets and Aru, and they were killing it. They killed it. Their top 8 was excellent, so was their commentary, and I love their chemistry. So,
yeah.
Honestly, I just really wanted to highlight them.
I did watch some Tekken Grand Finals. I'm always curious if anybody can stop him. I don't even need to say his name.
True.
You already know. Mr. Six. It was an interesting Grand Finals because it started off as a Anna mirror match.
Right.
And Arslan had to switch to Nina at some point. That's that. And the big one, Street Fighter 6.
Yes, the biggest one, the Sunday night game that went on until like 2 a.m.
It was long.
It was long. It was late for us.
What an interesting top 8. We had a brand new face in this top 8.
Yeah.
First offline major ever.
Yeah, we got a teenager from Hong Kong.
Yeah. Mickey made things really exciting because it was like, I don't know who this is.
He was good, and he was taking out like hardcore competitors that have been around for a long time.
Right. Like, I'm used to seeing the Street Fighter talent as it is right now at this point. You know, I've been watching these guys compete for a couple years now. I'm used to it. And so it's really fun when, surprise, there's a new person there.
Right. It's always nice to see that new blood.
Mm-hmm. And he did really well.
He did.
He did really well. He got 3rd.
Yeah, he played all Cammy and Mai. He took down a number of people, and he qualified for EWC.
That's right. So we'll see him on a big stage again very soon, in a few weeks here.
The final showdown was Mena and Kakeru. They were also the first ones that played in top 8 in the first winners match. Kakeru went to losers and had to fight his way all the way through losers to get back. Mm-hmm. But he just couldn't get it done. There was no bracket reset or anything. Mena just took it and swept it, unfortunately. Not to show my bias or anything, but I was hoping somebody could take Mena down.
Yeah, I think overall this top 8, for me, Mickey was the highlight because I love a good, I won't call him an upset because he deserved to be. It's not like he didn't deserve to be there, but a rogue, you know, someone you don't expect to be there.
Right.
And that always just makes for a very exciting, especially, you know, the very end. Like,
Definitely.
This is the final race to the finish. Who's going to make it? And I guess that appeared to be Mena.
Yep.
So
he took it with his Blanca.
Yep.
It seemed to work out for him pretty well.
Yeah.
He was completely dominant. He looked like the much better player in that matchup, which is insane because Kakeru is the millionaire in this matchup. So you'd think that he would be, you know, the proven one.
Right. So, of course, yeah, Kakeru just came off of winning the most recent Capcom Cup, and maybe Mena caught him kind of resting on his laurels here. Who do you think has the ability to compete with Mena right now if he plays like Evo?
Maybe Lashar? Angry Bird?
I think with that, we've covered pretty much what we wanted to. There were a lot of announcements at Evo. You know, Evo is the place to drop your announcement. So.
Right, yeah. We didn't talk about, every single game, just the ones that we care about, I guess.
Yeah, so if you're feeling like, that doesn't really sound like a lot of Evo, well, it's because there's more.
So now that it is August, we are celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Mortal Kombat movie. And I've got a lot of good juicy deets for you, so prepare yourself. The movie came out August 18th, 1995. It was produced by New Line Cinema, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Its budget was $20 million, and it made $122 million back worldwide at the box office, so it was a huge success. Mortal Kombat was everywhere at this time. The film stars Christopher Lambert as Raiden, Robin Shou as Liu Kang, Linden Ashby as Johnny Cage, Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa as Shang Tsung, Bridget Wilson as Sonya Blade, Talisa Soto as Katana, and Trevor Goddard as Kano. The tagline for this movie was, "Nothing in this world has prepared you for this." And the plotline of this movie, just a base plotline, is 3 martial artists are forced to battle demonic adversaries in another dimension with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. I saw this movie in probably early 96. I saw it on VHS at a friend's house. It was one of those things where I used to go to a buddy's house all the time and play MK1 and 2 on his Super Nintendo. And he one day, I went to his house and he's like, "Hey, check this out. I got this VHS rental. I got this movie. Let's watch it." And we watched it, and it was the coolest thing I had ever seen up until that point as a child.
Yeah, that was going to be my follow-up question was this post playing any MK or prior? And yeah, I guess this is a result of playing some MK. Yeah,
I'd played the first 2, and we always had fun with that. And then he just had this movie all of a sudden. I didn't know the movie even existed until I went to his house, and he's like, "Hey, look what I got. I rented this," and we watched it, and it was pretty much the coolest thing I had ever seen in my life up until then. So,
did this friend have older siblings? I'm just curious how a 5 or 6-year-old ended up with all this stuff.
I think so, but I feel like his parents just didn't care about ratings or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
One of those parents where it's like, yeah, it's just a dumb video game. Play it. Go ahead. Doesn't matter. So I kind of grew up with this movie. I watched it dozens of times as a child. But what about you? When was the first time that you saw this movie?
I did not see Mortal Kombat until I was dating Cam. Once I kind of got hooked on MK, of course, every fan has to experience this movie.
Definitely.
I saw it back then, a few years ago now, and of course we have watched this for this episode.
The one scene that I still remember watching as a kid for the first time is the Liu Kang reptile fight. I just wanted to throw that out there. That's the one moment that I remember from watching as a 6-year-old. Yeah.
Cool. And at this time in 1995, as you kind of mentioned this, but MK and MK2 were out. Was MK3 out yet?
I believe the initial vanilla MK3 was either just out or was about to come out. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't quite there. I know in the credits for the movie, which we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but in the credits, it actually gives you a combat code for MK3, and it says to play it in arcades.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there was no Ultimate MK3 yet, and vanilla MK3 would have been either very new or not quite out yet.
Well, that's super exciting.
For sure. We watched something that I had never seen before, you had never seen before, and it's called Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins. This was about an hour long, and it was something that it was 55 minutes.
It was?
Yeah.
It did not feel that long.
This material was called Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins. It had about 30 minutes of animated footage talking about lore for the characters and a little bit of backstory, and then the rest of it was behind the scenes footage and interviews from a lot of the people that worked on it. They made a point of saying, if you're seeing it on screen, it's because our actors and stunt performers could do it. We're not trying to do a bunch of cuts, quick cuts, all that. The things that you see on screen are being done in real life. So you'll see Liu Kang run up a wall and do a backflip, or somebody jump across the room and shoot an ice ball. That's all real.
Yeah, it's real. And also, just one zany little lady doing the CG effects with no one else knowing what it's going to look like. I thought that was fun, too.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, just getting to see the connection that these artists had to the craft and to the project. It's just a lot of heart.
So that was a mail order type of thing. So you would see an ad for it in a magazine, or I don't really know where you would see the ad for it, I guess. But
probably if you were in Combat Club. Is that what that was?
Combat Club? Yeah, that was something you could also pay to be a part of and get stuff in the mail. Little goodies, like patches or stickers or something. I don't know.
Get super savings on a bunch of Midway stuff. Very different times and very interesting ways of getting the word out and getting people excited for an upcoming movie.
Yeah, and we watched this on YouTube. It's only been released one time since the initial VHS. It was a bonus on the 2011 Blu-ray release, but it's on YouTube, so you can just watch it there. It's called Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins. Let me know what you guys think about that Tarkatan scene with them running at each other, or running directly into the camera.
So in the animation part, every fight scene that they show, they show it in this 3D fighter style.
Very, very early CG.
This one has quote unquote recognizable Mortal Kombat characters duking it out, except for one.
Yeah, there's just a guy.
There's just a bald man.
Was that Shang Tsung versus Bald Man? Is that what it was?
It's supposed to be his superior, and then he's like, nope.
Yeah,
I'm out.
This model had almost no detail. It was just like the most simple, bald old man you can think of, and it was hilarious.
Just an old man wearing a long red shirt and gray
that's
pants.
It.
He was cool. Bring him back.
Yeah, bring back the old man.
That was definitely a highlight.
I think that's pretty much it. It was a fun primer. It was something I've never really seen before, and it was just cool to see the passion behind it.
Let's get into the film.
Let's do it.
Mortal Kombat begins, and we enter the dream state of one Liu Kang.
Yeah, it starts out in what you would think would be a flashback at first, but it turns out it's just a dream that Liu Kang is currently having, and it's his brother fighting Shang Tsung.
Kind of being held at the mercy of Shang Tsung, who then kills him.
Yeah, Shang Tsung kind of beats his ass. I don't know if he gets a hit in, and then he just holds his head up to the camera and says, "Your brother's soul is mine."
We quickly realize this is a nightmare, not just a Liu Kang regular dream. Nightmare, so Liu Kang wakes up and realizes he's far from home. He is no longer in China, and it's time to get back there. We move on to the next challenger, Sonya Blade.
So it cuts to Sonya Blade in the Black Dragon nightclub, looking for Kano. If you know Sonya at all, she's kind of one-track mind when it comes to finding Kano and killing him.
And that's pretty much how we meet Sonya.
Yeah.
And we finally meet the star, Johnny Cage. On set, as per usual, making the movies, saying things like, "Let's dance" to bad guys. So Johnny wraps up on set and comes off to find a familiar face behind a page of bad press about Johnny Cage, as usual.
He does call the man Master Boyd. He kind of just says, like, I know everybody thinks your moves are fake. You could really prove yourself if you went to this tournament and won the whole thing.
He encourages Johnny to attend this tournament to really shut the tabloids up once and for all. You know, Johnny Cage is the real deal. And Johnny likes the sound of that and prepares to set off. But just after this interaction, Master Boyd walks away and turns in to Shang Tsung. All three of Earthrealm's finest embark on a journey. We next meet up with Liu Kang. He's made it to China. He shows up at the Temple of Light and meets up with the Master here. But perhaps the most important part of this scene is the arrival of Raiden.
It's Raiden's first scene in the movie, and he's just kind of there to make all the monks bow to him and to kind of antagonize Liu Kang a little bit because he tells him, your brother believed. You're not ready. Liu Kang is kind of... I think he just decides, like, I'm going to avenge my brother and I'm going to prove that I am ready. And then he goes to the boat. What boat? Shang's boat that's going to take them to the island.
Shang's Island.
Yes.
Yeah, so Raiden shows up here. They definitely make his first scene stand out. You see the shadow of the hat behind a sheet, and there's little chimes, and candles blow out because you're in the presence of a higher power. I like the little details that accompany Raiden's appearance here. We're already leaning into the Mortal Kombat world with how this movie's going so far, I think. But by this point, we're definitely there with Raiden's appearance.
They're definitely starting to sell what you're in for at this point.
Mm-hmm. By this point, all three of Earthrealm's champions meet up at the Hong Kong boat dock, and they board this boat. They board this boat. They meet Shang Tsung, Captain.
Yeah, Captain. So we meet Captain Shang.
Shang Tsung introduces two fierce enemies, Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Deadliest of enemies.
But
slaves to my power.
What a rude guy.
Yeah, kind of rude.
So the Scorpion and Sub-Zero we get here are, they're under Shang's power.
Yeah, and that is really all of the backstory you get for either of those two characters, but honestly, that's really all you need, and back in 95, the backstory was a lot more minimal compared to what we're at right now. So.
Definitely. So they meet Scorpion and Sub-Zero, who are about to bust some moves on the trio until two special surges of lightning enter the boat. One red, one blue.
I thought it was really interesting that they used the two different colors of lightning because that's not something they added to the game until way, way later with Dark Raiden.
That's a good call out on the lightning.
And that was something I didn't think about until this watch.
Yeah. Honestly, same. After they meet Scorpion and Sub-Zero, Raiden then does a lot of explaining to the Earthrealm champions about what this tournament is and what it means, and that one of them should be able to win it. Yeah, remember, Raiden is a demigod. He's not just going to give you the answer. Moving on, we get to Shang Tsung's island. First night on the island, we're kicking things off with a dinner and an exhibition match before dinner is even off the table.
Yeah, it ends up all over the floor because of these guys that come in the room and just start cleared tables, shoving them out of the way, flipping them over, all that. Making a little spot for Sub-Zero to face an enemy and show off what he can do. And this man does some shadow boxing. He's showing off his punches, his kicks. He tries to do a flying kick right at Sub-Zero's face and ends up looking like a fool.
Yeah, because what does Sub-Zero do?
Ice ball.
Yeah, it has begun. A taste of things to come. Next up, we get a little chatting scene between Kano and none other than the Outworld Prince himself, Goro.
I really love this scene, and I don't know that this scene would have stood out to me before.
It definitely didn't me, but it does now.
Part of that is because they pay tribute to this scene in the MK11 crypt. So you've got Kano at a table full of gigantic chicken drumsticks or turkey legs or whatever they are. All kinds of different foods. And talking to Goro about how he's a big deal back where he's from.
I like the way it's shot because it starts out just looking at Kano and you really don't even know who he's talking to. Who is he talking to across this massive banquet? Midway through the scene, gotta throw in the midway.
Right.
We finally get to see Prince Goro in the shadows across this massive table in this cavernous chamber.
Yeah, sitting at his throne that has 4 armrests on it.
Yes. Which was a detail that I didn't remember, and I really enjoy that detail.
That was something that I never noticed until this time. I had just found out recently, like, oh yeah, it's got 4 armrests. So I made sure to keep an eye out for that, and it sure does.
We get into the fights. It has begun. We get into some little fights, first off, because Liu Kang, Johnny, and Sonya have been spying. They're just kind of looking for intel. Raiden pops up randomly to talk to them and feed them riddles, but it's just not enough.
True.
At this point, they don't really know what to do. So they're snooping, and they get ambushed by a bunch of randos. I think the most memorable part of this fight scene is just the stupid line that Sonya tops it off with, which is, just how I like 'em. Dumb and ugly.
Yeah, that was the most eye-rolly scene of probably the entire movie. Well, that was a dumb line.
All right.
Okay, I don't get it.
Interesting way to like them. That was my thought.
Seriously, like, what do you mean by that?
You like them dumb and ugly. From here on out, we get to see the fights kick off.
We start with a really weak one, don't we?
We do. Shang Tsung is sitting under like a canopy that has the Mortal Kombat dragon on it. And what I like about this is with this canopy, the dragon part of it is somehow sheer because you get like a shadow on the sand.
I didn't even notice that. That's
cool.
It's
behind Shang Tsung in one of the shots. I can't remember which one because they're both on the beach.
Right.
But it's either the katana one or the rando. That's the very first fight. But yeah, you didn't have to think of doing that.
Yeah, that is cool.
But all the symbolism, all the imagery in the film to give the Mortal Kombat image is so strong.
It is.
It's everywhere. And that's just another example that I didn't catch in the past, but it really stuck out to me this time. And I really like that one because it's like, man, whoever thought of that, I like you.
This movie has shockingly good sets just across the board.
It does. We start off with Liu Kang versus a man who we do not know.
Yeah, we don't even get this dude's name at the start of the fight.
Liu Kang wins. Flawless victory. And we see our first soul steal here. My takeaway with watching the film this time is that every one of Shang Tsung's soul steals are different looking, which is cool.
It is cool. They're all unique and they all look pretty visually interesting.
Definitely. Like, each is its own unique concept, and I think that's cool because no one soul is the same.
That's not a thing I had really considered in the past, but you're right, and I think they do a really good job at making that the case. I think the one that stands out to me in particular is the one where Shang steals a soul, and all of the color that's on a man just shatters like glass and leaves this guy just laying there gray. It's kind of weird.
I want to say that's the very first one.
I think it is.
Next up, we see Sonya getting to fight Kano, of course.
Of course.
That's why she's here.
Yeah.
So they have their fight, and let's talk about this, because I feel like we get a good representation here of not what Kano was, but what Kano as a character could be.
Right, yeah.
Because at this point in time, Kano as a character, and we've kind of touched on this, at this point in MK as a game, most characters didn't really have too much depth. But Kano in particular was just supposed to be kind of just a bad dude, you know?
Just a bad mercenary man with knives.
Mm-hmm. Not too much going on. But here, we get a whole picture of Kano painted. This Australian man, kind of a sleazebag, you know?
Yeah, I was definitely going to say sleazy.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of a pig, honestly.
Actually, doesn't even start the fight fair.
No, yeah, that's a really good point. This dude was the blueprint for what Kano became. I feel like modern Kano is nothing like the MK1 Kano. And then the character was one of the least popular characters in the original Mortal Kombat game, and that's why he didn't return in MK2. Trevor
Goddard really kind of shaped this character into something for the future.
He did.
So Kano, minor role, dies very soon, but major impact on the character's legacy. I think they made very smart decisions with every Kano scene for how little he's in it. They made very smart decisions on every bit of screen time that he has.
We wouldn't have the Kano we have today without Trevor Goddard.
Now from here, we jump to perhaps one of the most iconic fights in this movie, in my opinion. And that's the Johnny Scorpion fight.
Yeah, this one is great.
There are a lot of elements to this fight that make it iconic. And I think first off is the really odd setting. Yes. So where we begin is a very odd setting of a forest, but it's very organized.
It is, yeah. All of the trees are perfectly spaced out.
Yeah, you start off with a really geometric forest, and Scorpion is really just styling.
Yeah, definitely.
He's popping out.
They fight for a bit in the forest. Scorpion uses his weird snake thing that comes out of his palm instead of his typical spear. Johnny kind of outsmarts it a little bit by getting it wrapped around the trees. And then they both get teleported to the Netherrealm. So Johnny goes to hell.
Does Scorpion open the portal and then Johnny like jumps in after him or something?
Johnny tries to jump kick him, and right as the kick connects, he does his teleport, and they both teleport to the Netherrealm.
Oh, okay. So
Kind of a trap.
yeah, imagine if Scorpion could trap you with his teleport like that.
Man, I wish. Takes you to a different stage.
So yeah, we get to be in another setting for this fight. That detail in itself makes this fight top tier for this film. We are now in the Netherrealm, which I love. Okay, first off, you have to be in Johnny's shoes. We don't know where we are, and neither does Johnny. He's bewildered. There's skeletons everywhere. It feels like hell. Johnny's just looking around, confused. Of course, as you would be.
Yeah, as you should
Where
be.
am I? Only to eventually turn around and find Scorpion there. And this is my favorite. I love that Scorpion just says, "Welcome."
It's so good.
And then begins fighting again.
It's Ed Boon doing the voice. You know, one of the co-creators of Mortal Kombat. He's always done the voice of Scorpion. But I love that he also gets to do the voice in the movie for some lines that you wouldn't typically hear him say in the game. Like, "Welcome."
I really want that to just come back.
It's really
somewhere.
good. It's extremely good.
I need Scorpion to say welcome again. Anyways, yeah, so they continue their fight in the Netherrealm, which includes a lot of great... I love this fight. I think maybe it's the cinematography for me. If there's one thing about me, I love dolly zooms in films. And there is a dolly zoom in this scene. If you don't know what that is, it's a shot where you'll notice a shift in perspective where the shot begins zoomed in and the camera moves forward on a dolly while zooming out. So you get a shift in perspective that to me has always looked really cool. And I never noticed it before, but there's a really unique dolly zoom in this scene of Johnny sitting on the ground of the Netherrealm when he first shows up there. And there's a stack of skulls right in front of him. And it's just a really unique one because typically this shot is used a lot for portraits, you know, just of a character's face. But in this one, it's a full body shot sitting on the ground with skulls involved. And it's very, sorry to nerd out with that, but like, it's up there for me. It automatically shoots up pretty high on the list for me of good dolly zoom. So that's my gold star. That and the Scorpion welcome are very up there in this fight scene for me. Johnny thinks that he's got the high ground in this fight and he's scaled this little platform, but Scorpion's like, no, get down here. And I love that like step into the kick that he does.
Yeah, he just kicks the entire platform and brings it down.
The final thing that I love about this fight is the fact that it all goes down and Johnny never gets a chance to tell anybody that he's there with about it.
Right, yeah.
Hey, I fought Scorpion in the woods and we went to hell. Does anyone want to hear about that?
Yeah, nobody's there for his fight. There's no audience. And honestly, I don't know how he gets back from the Netherrealm.
Something we've left out so far is that Scorpion does end up doing something iconic as well.
He tries to do his classic MK1 fatality by pulling his mask off, revealing the skull, and then shooting out a spout of flames. Johnny grabs a shield on the ground that was just in the Netherrealm and blocks all the flames, picks up a spear, chucks it through Scorpion, and then uses this shield that has like a Kung Lao style sharpness to it.
Yeah, it honestly gave me Kung Lao vibes when he first picked it up.
Yeah, because he uses it to twirl about and hit Scorpion all over the place. And then we get what is probably the most brutal fatality of the entire movie, where he's bleeding this like orange, red, pink goo, and then Scorpion explodes into a gigantic fireball.
Yeah, I think you could kind of read that as like magma.
Yeah.
Because he's so hot.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right, ladies?
To me, it's always just looked like goo, and I still love it. I mean, he's unnatural. Why would his blood be normal?
Exactly.
It's goo.
It's goo. By the way, when Johnny has this essentially like shield and spear, it looks badass.
It does. It's really cool. One of the things that stuck out to me about the weapons during that scene was, I think I called out interactables.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
MKX, MK11 both had interactables you could pick up off the ground and use as a temporary weapon. It would just be a one hit kind of thing. But that's what it made me think of. Like, oh, he's picking up something in the environment and using an interactable.
Yeah, and there was something else in that scene that you just reminded me of with that, where I feel like, I think it's Johnny that like swings around something like 5 times. And that made me think of the tree interactable in MKX.
Yeah.
Moving on from this fight that no one on the island will ever hear about.
Yeah, like I just imagine later on, Johnny's trying to tell them, like, hey guys, I went to hell and I fought Scorpion. He had a skull for a head. And nobody's going to believe that. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's just like background
hell?
noise.
Yeah,
like
whatever.
they're not even listening to him. All right, and that leads us to Liu Kang's next fight, which is more of like a dance because it's against Princess Kitana, who we don't know too much about in this movie, aside from the fact that she is the adopted daughter of the Emperor, Shao Kahn.
Right. This fight is kind of weird. I almost think it's an exhibition match because there are no deaths in it, and usually these are fights to the death. Shang Tsung is watching, but he's kind of just observing and like trying to get Kitana to stop talking to Liu Kang. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, don't tell him all my secrets.
One thing about Kitana in this film is that there's essentially no markers of Kitana because she's not wearing blue, and there are no fans.
True.
And there's no mask either.
No mask. You just get a woman in like black leather. And honestly, I think at the time as a 6-year-old, I feel like it barely registered that was Kitana in the movie.
That's what I wondered. Like, was it clear at all?
Right.
Did you see that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it barely registered to me that was Kitana because it was such a different characterization. Everybody else kind of fits the part, or you know.
You could puzzle it together that's who that's supposed to be.
Yeah.
For most people.
I'm thankful for those scenes though, because without them, we would have just had more Raiden and Liu Kang exposition, and that wouldn't have been as fun.
That's true. That's true. That leads us to our next fight. So, of course, Kitana gives a bunch of hints throughout this. One of them is about the element which brings life. And Liu Kang finds himself in a match against Sub-Zero. But not without a weird little person entering the room before any of them do.
Yeah, that's right.
We see a figure walking very slowly with a yoke, I guess, with 2 buckets on it of water.
Yeah, a stick on his shoulder for people that didn't get that reference.
If you don't know what a yoke, Y-O-K-E is.
No, we're not talking about eggs here.
But yes, this surprisingly is the god of thunder, Raiden, carrying 2 buckets of water that he then proceeds to set gently on the ground and drink from one of them.
And I don't think this drinking scene ever stood out to me before. This time we both kind of thought, like, why is he drinking from him?
This time I was hyper aware of Raiden doing anything. You're just a meddler.
Definitely. It's true. I feel like they kept that going forward, his meddling and everything, because he never really helps in a lot of the future game. He's always just giving stupid hints like, he must win.
I mean, it's... Yeah, he's not helping. No. That's for sure. Yeah, so this Liu Kang Sub-Zero fight. Liu Kang has the arena prepped thanks to our little hooded figure, but it takes Liu Kang a while to remember this hint. It even takes Kitana showing up in the wings of this stage that they're on, somewhere on the island inside.
Yeah.
And she shows up, Liu Kang looks at her, gets his visual reminder of like, oh yeah, you told me about something.
Yeah, you told me something. Let me just look around real quick because I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't even know who you are yet.
Yeah, so I guess we kind of get the idea that Liu Kang isn't the most practical guy, we'll say.
You don't have to be when you're the chosen one.
So eventually, he puts 2 and 2 together and does a big old wind up with one of these water buckets and interrupts Sub-Zero's huge power up that he's doing. He's about to shoot a huge ice ball.
Like the biggest ice ball anyone has ever seen. He's powering up for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, he is crafting this thing. This pose is so powerful. Cam wants it to be in a game. A mid-round
That was my first thought. Like,
Easter egg.
why can't Sub-Zero do this pose?
He should.
Because it's awesome.
He should do it. I mean, I'm kind of surprised they didn't just do it in MK11 with how much it turns out of a love letter that game's design was to this movie.
Yeah. All over the place.
MK11, the crypt. Oh my god. Watch this movie, go in the crypt. There's so much love.
Yep. From the courtyards to the banquet halls, everything in between.
Anything else to say about the Liu sub fight?
I did think it was funny that he killed Sub-Zero with ice. I mean, it's technically water when he throws it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he throws a bucket of water. It turns into a gigantic icicle or ice spear, whatever, and pierces Sub-Zero through, I guess, the stomach. And Sub-Zero just turns into ice. He just ices up all over the place.
He's not happy about it. He's really scared.
He's like, I've never been ice before. This is ice I can't control.
Next, in the film, we move on to Prince Goro having the time of his life.
Yeah, and we don't even see him for like the first half of this scene. We just see like body after body just flying through the air and landing in gravel.
By this point in the movie, we know that Goro is the reigning champion. We know that he has 4 arms and are thrown to match. And we know that he's absolutely slamming tons of guys down without a problem.
Yeah, he's destroying people. You don't even have to see the fights. You just see these bodies just flying.
These are all just a warm-up for...
His name is Art Lean, and that's pretty much all you get on him.
I guess we're meant to believe that this is an acquaintance of Johnny, a past training buddy of Johnny's, because they're both doing a fighting tournament. Unfortunately, though, Art has been pitted up against the champion himself, Prince Goro.
Yeah, and he's looking pretty confident when he's doing his warm-up.
Yeah, he's in the ring by himself. Like, yeah, we're in this pretty cool setting. We're in a ring.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Got a crowd.
Yeah, and then 8-foot-tall Goro shows up, and you can immediately feel the energy shift. Like, oh, what? I have to fight that freak?
Yeah. Now let's talk about Goro in this film, because we have not yet.
We have not, surprisingly.
He's quite a spectacle. We have mentioned CG so far, but Goro is not really.
Goro is all practical.
Yeah.
He is a robot that they built. He's 8 feet tall, and it was both puppeteering and robotics. Sometimes there would be a man moving like the torso around, and then 25 operators or something like that, just moving all the arms and puppetry. But
quite the feat.
Very cool.
Quite the feat. Because when you see Goro in the film, I mean, to my mind, as somebody that grew up in that era, I don't immediately recognize what I'm seeing. They did such a good job.
Yeah, all you know for sure is that that's a real thing, and it's here. It's right there in front of you. And the actors, you can tell the actors are actually interacting with something instead of like certain scenes where they're interacting with just CG.
I have to guess that Goro would have been one of the most exhaustive projects of this whole project.
Definitely. I've heard in the past that while they were filming, Goro kept breaking down, and they would fix him back up, whatever. And they were just talking about how Goro was a total diva on set because he kept causing delays. He wasn't showing up on time and all that. So Goro was kind of a diva on the set.
The conditions must be perfect. So Goro, yeah, I had to bring him in because that's something else. I mean, yeah, it's just done scarily good.
It is.
Even to this day.
I mean, yeah, it stands out as like, wow, this dude looks impressive. This is very impressive visually.
Yeah.
And it's because of it physically being there.
Right. And I think, there's a lot of CG in this movie where you can look at it and say, that's dated, that was good for the time.
Yeah, it's cool.
That was impressive for the time.
Right.
But Goro, I don't consider that just impressive for the time.
It's impressive now.
It's impressive now. I have not seen a better Goro in a movie than that one.
Peak Goro. And if you want to see the head of Goro and you're ever in Chicago, you can stop by the NRS offices because they have the head of Goro in a glass case.
Does it move?
No, it's not connected to anything at this point. It's just like the severed head of Goro.
That would be so cool if they made it move like once a year on Halloween.
Oh my gosh.
Something.
Yeah, if they had it hooked up and it would just open its mouth and eyes or something.
Oh my god. Yeah, every time Goro expresses anything in this movie, it's like wow and scary.
Yeah, like you believe that this is a monster that's been winning fights for 500 years.
Yeah, there's something about that tangible aspect of it. I feel bad for Artlene when he got scooped up because that would be absolutely terrifying.
Back to the movie because we've been glazing Goro for so long. Back to the movie, I guess. Artlene tries throwing a couple punches, kicks, whatever, and none of it affects Goro at all. He doesn't feel any punches. He doesn't even defend against the first few. He just lets them hit and walks right towards Art, scoops him up with two of the arms, and then just punches him in the face repeatedly with the other two. And what are you going to do against that? I'm asking because I don't know.
I don't know either.
Like, what the fuck are you supposed to do against a guy with 4 arms?
Yes. You guessed it. Art does not make it.
He does not.
This is meant to be a sympathetic moment where we see a loss. We see a first meaningful loss, aside from Liu Kang's brother. Someone dear to the cast, the core cast, has died. And this causes despair. Distress. But amidst all of this, amidst Sonya's heart-wrenching no, Shang Tsung proclaims, finish him.
Which Goro does.
Yes. Goro is constantly looking to Shang during these final moments like, we good, boss?
You want me to kill this guy? Or...
We're doing the thing we do? So, Goro very ceremoniously scoops up Art from the ground and actually just kneels while doing this. And he holds Art above his head with his upper limbs, and with his lower limbs, he just kind of has a prayer hands.
Yeah, so maybe he's praying for this dude, like, well, I hope you find peace in the afterlife, because you didn't hear.
It's very ceremonious as Shang Tsung performs another soul steal. And this time, once again, these are all unique, all special. How does Art's soul leave his body? He actually just kind of literally leaps out of it and flies through Shang Tsung's eyeball?
Yeah, you can actually see, like, the spiritual embodiment of Artlene just flying into Shang Tsung's eye.
Yeah. Which is really cool. I feel like we watched that a couple times. Very extreme there. Very extreme.
Definitely. You get a close-up of the eyeball.
Next up, we get a little pep talk with Raiden, because what they just saw was too much.
Yeah, I feel like the Earthrealm crew is kind of freaked out. They're like, how could we beat this guy? He's like twice as big as us. He's been around for 2,000 years. He's got more experience. He's cool. That's a cool guy. And everybody likes him. All the audience members are on his side. How am I supposed to get an advantage?
Yeah.
And Raiden's just like, you'll figure it out. If there's a will, there's a way. He doesn't exactly say that, but he might as well.
But it turns out they have the perfect party member for the job. Because what do you need to fight an 8-foot-tall, 4-armed, 2,000-year-old reigning champion? You need ego. You need Johnny Cage.
I was going to say balls.
Yeah, doing that too.
I want to say that this fight is actually a little more ceremonious in the sense that Goro follows the rules. I was just thinking back to the Kano fight, how he just immediately tries to swipe a knife at Sonya's head. Mm-hmm. And she dodges it, and then the fight begins. But Goro is very respectful. He's standing there before Johnny. He's looking at the audience and getting them pumped up, doing fist pumps and stuff. But he doesn't try to, belittle Johnny or anything like that. He's standing there and I guess more or less showing respect. Until Johnny does the splits and punches him right in the nuts.
He doesn't crush his sunglasses?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That was what I feel like that's what it starts.
Yeah, you're right.
Does he just take him off of his face, or does Johnny hand him to him?
Johnny takes the sunglasses off, and then Goro grabs Johnny's wrist for a minute, holds it, and then grabs the sunglasses, looks at them, thinking like, what are these? And then just crushes them like, haha, this is nothing to me. So I guess it is a little bit disrespectful.
That would be scary.
It would be, yeah. Goro holds your wrist and you're like, oh god, this giant 3-fingered hand.
Say goodbye to my wrist
holding my
and
arm.
Everything on the other end of it.
Yeah, for real.
That's what I would think.
Goro doesn't do anything.
Goro just takes the sunglasses like a curious child.
Yeah, crushes them. He's never seen sunglasses. He's an outworlder. I just think he doesn't know what Earthrealm shit is. No one's ever came from Earthrealm with a pair of sunglasses before. Where he comes from, you wouldn't need them anyways.
Exactly. It's very dark. And Goro has like yellow night eyes. So that you can see well.
But the busted sunglasses is what triggers Johnny to, I guess, pop into action. He does the splits, his classic move, and does the nut punch.
And runs away.
Runs away, yeah. This catches Goro off guard, and he's just like clutching himself, like, oh, can you believe this? He's looking at Shang, he's looking at the audience. He's got this look of bewilderment and pain on his face. And Shang's like, go, fight him, get him. And Goro's just like, oh man, but I just got hit right in the jewels. I am not ready to follow him. But he does, he follows him. Johnny's running away during this. He's going up a mountain, I guess. And he gets to a dead end. Goro shows up at this dead end, and Johnny's just kind of hiding just off to the side.
He says something to Goro.
Yeah, he says, those were $500 sunglasses, asshole.
Which I think was probably the standout line for me when I first saw this film.
Oh yeah, that's like a classic and probably one of the best lines in the movie. Mm-hmm. Good delivery.
Oh yeah.
Goro ends up falling off the cliff and holding on for dear life, and Johnny looks at him and says a familiar line, this is the part where you fall down. Got him. He said that earlier to a generic man during his movie filming.
Mm-hmm. He also says, let's dance.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know when he says it in... Does he say it to Scorpion? Or does he say it to Goro?
I think he says it to Goro. He says all his movie lines to Goro.
Let's dance. Yeah, so he really adopts that Hollywood confidence for the Goro fight, which is necessary.
Oh yeah, I think he needs that, otherwise there's no way he's getting out.
Yeah, I think there's only one that can do it, and it's Johnny. So he gets a double perfect.
True.
Which just is an Easter egg.
Yeah, this is an Easter egg. Tactically, you could consider it 2 rounds because the nut punch and the runaway, that's the first round, and then the top of the cliff would be round 2. He gets a double perfect, and in the first Mortal Kombat, if you got a double perfect, you would get a secret fight, and it would be Reptile.
So immediately after Goro is defeated, oh no, we turn around and Shang has abducted Sonya, holding her hostage in front of a portal, and they go through it. So that means we're all going through it too. We are in Outworld now at this point.
And it is dark, it's spooky, everything is vaguely purple. There's like skeletons and weird monsters hanging all over the place.
Yeah. Or here we have another fight.
Yeah, we get Reptile. We see Liu Kang go off the beaten path a little bit because he says something along the lines of, we're being watched. There's something else here.
Which I don't know how Liu Kang becomes cognizant of this now, because Shang Tsung kind of sicks Reptile on them immediately as soon as they get to the island.
Yeah, so Reptile has been just lurking.
Invisible.
Another
crypt element from MK11.
Yeah, the invisible lizard version of Reptile. But this is probably, I don't know if I want to say it's the best fight in the movie, but it's my favorite fight in the movie. And it was one that was added much later after test audiences watched the movie and said, I don't know, it could use some more action. They took that to heart. They let Robin Shou choreograph that entire fight, and I think it's one of the best ones, if not the best one. I feel like the action in it just stands out to me. I just really like it. I like the fact that people get thrown through multiple walls. It seems very intense. It seems like from the get-go, Reptile is a very serious fighter. He's not messing around. He's not standing there charging his special ability or trying to throw a spear around. He's in it. He's rushing down right in your face. He's trying to destroy Liu Kang as fast as possible. And he gets in like a dozen plus hits before Liu Kang does anything at all. I feel like they do a very good job with Reptile as a character here by making him a serious threat. Because if you would have played against Reptile in MK1 in that secret fight, he was extremely fast, he had all the abilities of everybody else, he was badass, and it was supposed to be a challenge. So I feel like this is the first time where you're like, oh man, Liu Kang's actually kind of getting his ass beat.
This fight feels longer than I think at least some of the fights up until this point in the movie.
Yeah.
Because, well, I guess the reason would be that it was added, you know?
Yeah.
It was added once the note was taken that they needed more. So it's like, yeah, we'll give you one more hefty fight. And it's pretty, I feel like it's pretty long. I don't know. We didn't compare runtimes of all the fights, but I feel like that one has more to it.
I think so.
One thing about this fight that stuck out to me in particular this time was, it made me think that I wish that in any of Reptile's iterations in game that he would have some advancing special that he flies through the air with where he's clawing crazily.
Ooh, yeah.
Because he does that in that fight. They keep kind of like pushing each other up this set of stairs. So like they're kind of just fighting on an incline.
Yeah.
And yeah, at one point, Reptile just kind of like claws through the air like crazily. And I thought like, oh, that would be so fun.
Liu Kang eventually gains the upper hand because he is the chosen one, so he's got to. He ends up defeating Reptile, and Reptile flies through a wall, lands on the ground, and then kind of just falls apart into a bunch of worms and bugs.
This is another thing I really love. This is one of my favorite funny things about the movie is Reptile just becoming a bunch of worms and bugs. I love really that. Good. I love that. That's such a little, like, yeah, that is what Reptile would do.
I think it's good. I really enjoy that.
That makes me think of MKX Reptile.
Yeah. The scene from there, they're just immediately done. They're not talking about that anymore. Like, that sure was weird. They just continue on their journey, and they get to the Emperor's castle.
Here we see a familiar scene-ish. We've got Sonya tied up in the back.
Yes.
On display.
Right.
It seems like the first thing on Shang's agenda when he brought Sonya to Outworld was to the salon.
Yeah, I'm going to tease your hair, make you look more barbaric, and give you a weird leather outfit.
Yeah.
So, Sonya looks different here. She's wearing leather, and she has big, crazy 80s hair. But she is tied up in the background, just like in Mortal Kombat 2, when her and Kano did not appear in that game, aside from in the background of the Emperor's arena. The final challenge, Liu Kang versus Shang Tsung.
Yeah, thanks for putting it that way, because they do say final combat in this movie.
They do, yes.
Which stuck out to me this time around, because I don't think I knew what final combat was when I first saw it, obviously.
Right. Yeah, I don't think I had either. I don't think that one ever stood out to me either.
That's what the Capcom Cup of MK is called, Final Combat. And that is in this movie. That's where it comes from.
Yeah. And I honestly had no idea until this watch. So.
Yeah. That's a really fun surviving bit right there.
Easter egg.
Shang Tsung versus Liu Kang at Final Combat. And perhaps one of the coolest sets in the movie. There's a lot of them. This one's very cool. It's got 2 levels to it because there's a center floor with the MK dragon, of course, again.
Of course.
Gotta have him. And then you've got kind of a perimeter of stairs that go up around this circle. And yeah, it's just really cool.
It's like a thin stone path above that they end up fighting on. And it reminded me of the pit.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a bit. Because
the pit indoors.
Yeah, the pit indoors. And there have been, I think, 3 versions of the pit in the old games. There was one in every game. So this is just their own individual rendition of the pit. And what happens if you fall off of the pit? You get impaled by a bunch of spikes. They brought that in on this movie. There's a bunch of spikes that show up throughout the dragon that's below them, the MK dragon logo. And you can tell from there, like, oh shit. Anyone falls off and they're toast.
This fight, let's talk about it.
It kind of looks one-sided from the start. No, Liu Kang is doing his thing. He's kind of beating ass. At this point, he's very confident in his own ability. He believes that he's the chosen one, finally. And he's kind of taking it to Shang in his own house, just beating the shit out of him. But Shang is, he's not going to go down without a fight, so he gets a little tricky here. Turns his back and then uses his shape-shifting ability to turn into Liu Kang's brother. It's obviously not the real brother because we saw him die at the beginning in a dream. But I thought it was interesting that they brought him back and tried to appeal to the empathy or sympathy of Liu. I'm like, hey, I'm your brother. Join me. Let's be together.
This is very powerful. Shang Tsung knows this. At this point in the tournament, Liu Kang and everyone from Earthrealm have seen things that would put your mental state to a test.
Definitely.
This was that ultimate test for Liu Kang because he's already seen all these fantastical things, but this is fantasy and something very real, very dear to him.
Right, and this wound is still fresh. He just lost his brother, and this is the whole reason he's here, is to avenge him. And he kind of notices through his brother's way of speaking, this can't be him, because he's trying to tell me, like, give up, basically. His brother would never tell him that.
Yeah, so Liu Kang's able to overcome the trickery. These spikes raise up out of the dragon symbol, and Shang Tsung ends up getting pitted.
He gets pitted. He gets stage fatalityed.
Yeah. Yeah, so more fun Easter eggs there.
Yeah, and from there he ends up losing all of the souls that he's captured throughout the last thousands of years, however long it's been. He loses all of these souls. They're all flying up. One of the souls happens to be Liu's brother. And they actually get to have a heart-to-heart this time around. It wasn't, it's not another one of Shang's tricks, I should say. And he talks to his brother. His brother tells him, you did a great job. I'll always be with you in spirit. We'll be together again someday. And it's nice. It's peaceful. They have that little heart-to-heart. I think Liu is able to accept it at that point. And then we transition to one final scene after that.
They are done with this tournament. And they are walking free to meet Raiden.
And it looks like they go back to the Temple of Light at this point, back in Earthrealm. They're walking up to Raiden, and he just kind of tells them, what took you so long? Because, sure, he could have just teleported everybody back, but why would he help that much? Why would he help that directly? So he's just been hanging out in Earthrealm. He didn't even watch the last fight.
We get this good ending, so to speak, of the Earthrealm champions meeting up with, katanas in Earthrealm now. Yeah. So there's that.
Interesting.
But they're meeting up with Raiden, and he's just kind of putting his arms around them and being their weird otherworldly mentor and saying, good job, guys. You did it. I gotta tell you guys, you did great.
Yeah, that was
credits roll.
That was supposed to be the initial ending of the movie. We still get that line, but then the actual emperor shows up, unnamed at this point, Shao Kahn, and he just threatens them a little bit.
I love that they all they fall into their action poses, but you can see everybody.
Yeah.
In a line. I love that. I love that shot.
It's a cool group shot.
Mm-hmm. Because you don't always get shots like that either, where
True.
It's like from the side, but you can see everybody doing their unique poses.
Very true.
So another cool thing. Yeah, I didn't know that was not initially the ending. So that was cool.
Yeah, that was tacked on, and I think that was a good idea.
I think it was a great idea. I think that adds so much of the MK vibe.
And it's nice because otherwise you wouldn't have that intensity, to walk out of the movie on.
A really cool vision of Shao Kahn there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's done well.
And that's Mortal Kombat.
That's Mortal Kombat, baby. But I have a whole lot of trivia that I think you'll find interesting. Let's just start out with where they filmed it. Most of this movie was filmed in Thailand, except for certain shots that were filmed in LA on backlots, and those were the Goro scenes. Any Goro scene was filmed in LA because it was too hard to bring those animatronics to another country. So something they said on set during this movie was, yeah, Goro actually wasn't allowed in Thailand because of things that he did in the past. So they were trying to treat it as if he was a real person, and that's why he was in none of the Thailand shots. They also said that Goro starred as himself in the credits. I think that's neat. I like that a lot. The locations in Thailand were actually so remote that they were only accessible by long canoe. So they had to take little canoes to get to the set each day, to and from, because they were so remote that they couldn't just walk there or drive there. They had to take tiny boats. They had a single outhouse built near the set because they couldn't go back and forth all the time, There was no way to just go back to the mainland. So they had one outhouse built, and they used that amongst all the cast and crew for
That's crazy.
the entirety of filming. Do you think the outhouse had the dragon logo on the door?
I'm sure it did.
Bridget Wilson, Sonya Blade, did all of her own stunts and fight scenes. She dislocated her shoulder during one scene and opted to have it popped back into place to continue filming.
Ooh.
She did not go to the hospital.
Girl.
Yeah. Because of this, the director referred to her as Robo Babe, which, kind of weird. Not great. But, yeah. Robo Babe.
Come on, Paul.
Kind of shitty. I saw that mentioned a few times, though, and I mostly wanted to point out the fact that she was a badass. And
yes.
She did all of her own stunts and all that. But,
she was a badass.
Yeah.
I don't think having your shoulder pop back in makes you a robot, though.
No, I don't think so. Scorpion, or Chris Casamassa, that's his name. He was originally auditioning to be a generic stunt ninja. One of the guys that would just show off and die. But the producers were so impressed with his abilities from his stunt taping that they just made him Scorpion. Kerry Tagawa, Shang Tsung, was the first and only choice for the role of Shang. So they didn't even look elsewhere. That was the only person they ever wanted. The reason they were solely focused on him as the role was because when he showed up to the audition, he was wearing a costume and he read his lines while standing on a chair.
What?
Yeah. So he was into it, and
Why was he on a chair?
I don't know.
What was the chair for? Did he think that Shang Tsung was tall?
He just wanted to feel more powerful.
Did he think he was auditioning for Goro?
I don't think so. I think he just wanted to be above everybody else. Jason Scott Lee was considered for the role of Liu Kang before it went to Robin Shou. Jason Scott Lee had been in Back to the Future 2 as one of the punks in the future scene, one of Biff's friends. He was also Bruce Lee in Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. That was his biggest role. Jean-Claude Van Damme actually turned down the role of Johnny Cage. They wanted him first, and he said no, because he was already in talks for being Guile in the 1994 Street Fighter movie. Coincidentally, the original 1992 Mortal Kombat game was designed to be a Van Damme game, but became Mortal Kombat because licensing his physicality, was way too expensive. Other actors who were considered to play Johnny Cage were Tom Cruise and Johnny Depp. Can you imagine either of them in the role?
Wow. Well, first off, this is heavy on the word consider, because I have to imagine that Johnny Depp probably didn't even see that offer. That doesn't seem like a role he would even look at that would even make it to him.
I don't know.
They probably sent it to his agent, and his agent flagged it like, no, we don't do action goofy yet.
Yeah.
We're not at that point in your career yet, Johnny.
I could see Tom Cruise doing it,
Yeah.
but I can't see him doing it well.
Nope.
Not as well as Linden Ashby. Cameron Diaz actually got the role of Sonya Blade, but during training for the film, she broke her wrist and had to be replaced by Bridget Wilson. So this was almost a Cameron Diaz flick.
Weird.
Yeah.
I can't picture that. That
Well,
would have been really weird.
it would have been. You're right. And Bridget Wilson, we already talked about how good of a job she did. She did all her own stunts. She took it very seriously. And I think she nailed the characterization.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they've actually continued that characterization going on into like MKX and future Special Forces heavy titles. I've already mentioned this, but Ed Boon is the voice of Scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
Now and forever.
Welcome.
Welcome. Get down here. Frank Welker voices Shao Kahn at the end of the movie, as well as a lot of the noises that Reptile makes. Frank Welker, for those that don't know, is the voice of Megatron in the 1984 Transformers. He voiced Megatron for about 30 years, and he also voiced Shao Kahn and Reptile. Thought that was really cool.
I thought that the Shao Kahn voice sounded familiar.
Another voice, Christopher Lambert, Raiden, actually voiced Raiden in the French dub of the movie because he's naturally French. So he liked this movie so much that he did the voice in 2 different languages.
I think that makes sense, because it seems like he kind of just got to be like a fun character, honestly.
I think so. He got to just chew on all of the scenery that he was a part of.
Mm-hmm.
He just eats it up. Every time he's there, he's just like grinning and being a smug little asshole. Back to Reptile. The entire Reptile, I already mentioned this part, the entire Reptile versus Liu Kang fight was added after test audiences said there wasn't enough fighting. Robin Shou choreographed that fight, and he broke 2 ribs during that fight scene. It was during the scene where he gets kicked through a wall and then hits his side up against a brick pillar. Mm-hmm. You can actually see the moment because it was kept in the movie. And then he gets up and he continues fighting, and that was real. He filmed the rest of the scene before going to the hospital.
Adrenaline.
Yeah. Adrenaline will do insane things to you. I once broke my back and then finished a soccer game.
That's how adrenaline works.
That's crazy. A little bit of cam lore for you. Yeah, in high school, I broke my back in a soccer game from getting hit by two dudes at the same time. And yeah, I finished the game because I couldn't feel it yet. I got up and I was like, wow, that hurts. And then I just kept running. Adrenaline. Anyways, a fight scene between Sonya and Jade was actually cut from the original script. So Jade was going to be in this movie.
Oh, what?
But it was cut. This scene was still actually in the novel adaptation because, believe it or not, there was a novelization of this movie that came out in 95.
I do believe it.
Yeah, that was happening a lot back then.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this scene because I wish it was included.
I wish it was too, and I don't even know what happens yet.
In the fight, Sonya bows to Jade as a show of respect and tries to get Jade to bow as well because Jade doesn't really know what she's doing at first. She doesn't know that this is a sign of respect. She's not from Earth. But Jade does the same thing. She follows suit and bows. And then while she's bowing, Sonya kicks her in the face and kills her in one hit.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So Sonya kills Jade with a single kick to the head. All of the human deaths are done in cutaway shots to avoid an R rating. So even though a lot of humans do die, like Kano gets his neck broken, but it cuts away and shows Sonya's face. Creature deaths can be shown in full, though, and still be considered PG. So that's why we get Scorpion exploding into lava and fire. We get to see Sub-Zero slowly freeze up and look all scared. Reptile gets turned into a bunch of worms. All that. I think with that, I've got to tell you guys something. You did great. I think watching it this time for the very first time with a critical eye, I think I actually ended up enjoying the movie a lot more than I already did. Final thoughts, I think the movie holds up extremely well and looks just as good as it did back then. And I feel like, honestly, 30 years later, I think I like it more now than I did as a 6-year-old.
Yeah, like you said, watching it really for the first time with a critical eye, it was fun to watch it through that lens and really appreciate, like, my mind goes to just Shang Tsung's acting.
Yeah.
His face acting. So much of it is just his face.
It really is, yeah. He's always looking very cocky and also very in control of every situation that he's in.
Mm-hmm. The Goro piece in particular just kind of blows my mind. The Goro piece, all of the very detailed set, attention to detail in the sets, truly.
Yeah.
This is a movie for the fans.
Yeah, it rules. It holds up extremely well.
Mm-hmm. What's your rating of it?
I'm going to give it honestly, as an MK movie, like a 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I couldn't really ask for too much more. It's an origin story without getting too deep into a bunch of nonsense that doesn't matter. It gives you everything you need to know and keeps away what you don't, you know? What would you rate it? I want to know your rating.
I feel like I just want to give it a 10 out of 10, too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as an MK movie,
yeah,
what more could you ask for?
Before we depart, I want to just touch on the catchphrases of this film because there are quite a few that get used again and again. Some of them are, references to the game itself, and some are just things that are part of this film. And we already mentioned a couple of those, which are Raiden's little lines. He says, "I don't think so," a few times. And he also has a habit of laughing at something he shouldn't, and then stopping laughing and saying, "Sorry," and walking away.
Yeah.
So he's really kind of a joke character.
It's really funny when he does that, though, because you can tell, like, you're not sorry.
No.
You're not sorry at all.
Who are you apologizing to?
He's laughing through his apology, pretty much. Like, smiling through it.
Sorry.
He might as well smirk and just walk away after the sorry.
More repetitive lines are, "It has begun."
Of course.
Raiden and Shang Tsung say that. And "Finish him." Flawless victory.
We get a lot of flawless victories.
And different versions of "Your soul is mine."
And then we get some Johnny lines that are just for this movie, but we get them a couple of times. We get the "Let's dance." We get This is where you fall down. I think that might be it. I thought he had a third one, but I think that might be it.
I think those are the repeating things that I was kind of thinking of.
That being said, do you have any other final thoughts, or shall we wrap it up?
I think we should wrap it up.
Let's do it.
This was a fun app.
Let us know what you guys think of the movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? What's your experience with it? How many times have you seen it? Did you see it back in the day? Did you see it in theaters?
Mm-hmm. Let us know that.
Are you watching it now for the first time?
Will you watch it now for the first time? Thank you for joining us on another episode of Wake Up 3. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at wakeupthreefgc. And you can find me, your host Molly, on Twitter at kahnkut. That's KAHNKUT. Cam, where are you?
I am also on Twitter at bigruckonline. This is Wake Up 3, signing off.
Bye.
Cameron Diaz actually got the role of Johnny, not Johnny, Jesus Christ.
What?
Let me start over.